Terra Nova Strike Force Centauri is a stupidly ambitious game released in 1996. It's an immersive sim, a bit like if Rainbow Six, System Shock and Mechwarrior had a baby. Stuffed full of ideas to the brim, which were by no means commonplace at the time, and it delivered. But since the IP was new, its release was overshadowed by Mechwarrior 2 Mercenaries and other very popular games like Quake, Duke Nukem 3D and Command & Conquer Red Alert. Unjustly though, because Terra Nova did some things better than even many games today. There still isn't a game like it after all these years. Terra Nova expanded on almost everything the competition had to offer back then. Sometimes it failed, but mostly things went quite well. You're in command of a team of 4 elite soldiers strapped into exosuits, mech suits, or whatever you want to call them. And the thing is, your team wasn't dumb as a bag of hammers, unlike in many modern games, where teammates mostly just act as a distraction at best and can't get anything done. The AI was quite capable, and some missions couldn't be completed without planning and executing a coordinated attack together with them. They even had different roles like demolitions, recon and electronics. So the overall vibe was more like playing a spec ops squad than a tank platoon like in Mechwarrior. The suits, called Powered Battle Armor (PBA), come in 3 different tastes: Scout, Standard and Heavy. They all serve their purpose throughout the game, and the standard suit never really becomes obsolete. I remember playing many of the later missions with a medium back then because of the added mobility over the heavy. There was kind of a progression as you would get better weapons as the story moved on, but a lot of the earlier equipment still stays relevant throughout the game. Terra Nova also boasted a wide-open, fully texture-mapped landscape. While the competition still appeared blocky, Terra Nova looked smooth. The whole area was often speckled with bushes that blocked laser fire. There were rivers and valleys, hills and islands, and the walkable terrain was vast. You could reach the edges of the playing field, which led to the mission being lost, but that was well outside the relevant operational area. Compared to other shooters of the time, which primarily took place indoors, the expansive outdoor environments of Terra Nova were a revelation. On top of that, there was a physics simulation that allowed the different mech suits and weapons to behave differently under changing weather conditions and terrain. It also simulated gravity. Some missions took place on other planets and moons, and you could blow off the arms and other parts of the opposing forces' exosuits. Everything was simulated to a certain degree. Smoke even acted as hard cover against beam weapons. The keyboard controlled your legs and torso, including torso twist and strafing, while your mouse controlled the arms. So you could freely aim your guns while moving all over the place and even while using the jump jets. This kind of complex control scheme took time to get used to, but it was rewarding as hell. To make this possible and visually pleasing as well, the PBA's animation used inverse kinematics to achieve the smooth motions you encounter in the game. Looking Glass Technologies, the developer, also put some serious thought into world building and into the overall presentation of the game. While the missions themselves were rendered in low resolution, which still overwhelmed many systems at the time, everything in between ran in a higher resolution SVGA mode. That includes the super cheesy full motion videos popular in the mid-90s.
You are ready, Commander, are you not?
Councilwoman, a military squad has never been more ready.
Listen, the first 2 yo-hos go down with 1 grenade. Pirate number 3, he doesn't have time to wet his suit before I'm bouncing over the hill, hitting with my particle beam.
And then you woke up.
We also got some nice renderings when entering and leaving a mission area, like the troop transport taking off and the actual drop sequence later. All of this together was quite atmospheric and helped to advance the simple but intriguing story in an entertaining way. What I loved most about Terra Nova was its ambition to be more than just a chain of missions. All the people in your squad had a personality and would appear in the videos between the missions. There were emails and news reports to read in between the assignments, adding more depth to the world and the ongoing events. And you could select each PBA's loadout before a mission, which opened up multiple ways to get the job done. The interface was highly customizable too, and the gadgets were plentiful. You even had sensor grenades and a player-controlled recon drone. All in 1996, fully functioning and relevant to gameplay. The fights were fast-paced and intense. There was friendly fire and some of the terrain was destructible. Your suit could only take a few hits before you got into serious trouble. If you didn't pay close attention, the disturbing game over cutscene would appear on the screen more often than you'd like. Repairing damaged armor in between fights was a necessity, as well as commanding your squad mates to flank, ambush or retreat. Missions ranged from assaults to escorts to pure recon deployments. I had a blast back then, and while replaying the game for the video, of course. It's one of those games that was ahead of its time and sometimes severely held back by the available technology. 3D accelerator hardware was just slowly becoming the standard. However, Terra Nova had already been in development since 1992 and was therefore not designed for it. This had a clear impact on the visuals, which could have been a lot better with hardware-based 3D acceleration support. The low resolution during the missions was quite choppy compared to the crisp menus and videos. Also, VR wasn't a thing back then, and boy would this game shine with a skillfully implemented VR mode. Imagine a remake in Unreal 5 and a fully destructible environment, a radial menu to command your squad, and maybe even AI-based chatter from them throughout the mission. And a few more gadgets for the PBAs maybe. I would love to see more games like this, which aren't purely simulations, but are still more complex than straightforward action games. And I'm not just talking about the simulation aspect, but also the entire surrounding fluff, like managing the squad, the development of the story, the approach to the target area, and so on. What I also really liked was Terra Nova's hard sci-fi approach, which leaned only a bit towards science fantasy. So we need a remake. Terra Nova went well beyond its estimated budget and never sold enough units to justify a sequel. The source code is nowhere to be found and the rights appear to be shelved somewhere within Atari. So maybe Night Dive have mercy, get the rights, and revive this unjustly overlooked legend of a game. And maybe the whole IP itself. I mean, there even was a Terra Nova book back then. Additionally, I have another game of a similar nature in mind that urgently needs a remake. You'll find the video here as soon as it's ready. Until then, enjoy this placeholder. Thanks for stopping by and see you soon.